And so today I'm going on a date with a man who is liberal, which yay, but has a kid. Hello and welcome back to Lo Does Whatever. Today I am getting ready to go on a date and I'm just going to talk about some things that I'm feeling because this is the first date that I have been on since having a hysterectomy. And with all the talk about people being child-free and whatnot, I think this is a really pertinent conversation to have. Please ignore the giant zit that I popped on my face. I did already put Scar Away on, because I know that I'm putting on makeup today, and I don't want to clog it any further than I've already done too much. I backslid a little bit on my promise not to pick my pimples, but we're getting back on track. We're gonna get back on track. I want to start by saying I am not a beauty influencer. I just like makeup. So I will tell you guys all the stuff that I'm using in my video. This is the MAC Fix Plus Prep and Prime. But you don't have to take my recommendations, and you most certainly don't have to do your makeup like how I do my makeup, because I know I'm out here looking crazy. So I always start with my brows. So I'm using the NYX Micro Brow in Espresso. So in general, I am not a person who has a lot of luck when it comes to dating. Obviously, I am 33 years old. I am single. And if I'm being completely and totally honest, my recent dating history does not reflect my goals at all. And you might be wondering, what are my goals, right? My goal is to find someone to share a romantic relationship with who has some of my interests and I can share some of their interests. And obviously I would want that person to be a decent human being. I do identify as queer. I am bisexual. I date everybody. I'm for everybody. And that is something that a lot of people, I think, may confuse for having more options. Me and every other bisexual / pansexual person on the planet will tell you that does not mean we have more options, as evidently referenced by the fact that I am still single. I haven't really talked about it very much on here, but I am 6 weeks post-op from having a total laparoscopic hysterectomy due to dysmenorrhea and other complications of polycystic ovarian syndrome. Not limited to, but including insulin resistance and excessive bleeding bordering on hemophilia. So, I will have more details about that in a longer YouTube video that I plan to film about being 33 and having my uterus removed, as a single person. But the reason I want to talk about it a little bit today is because this is my first date with a cis-het man in a while, and this is the first one after having my hysterectomy, and I have some thoughts now that I've recently been back on Bumble. Before having the hysterectomy, I was already quite concerned about my dateability because I've been infertile for many years. We're going on a decade of me literally battling with bad periods. And my longest relationship that I ever had I want to say it was 14 years, 12 years, over a decade. One of the points of contention in our relationship was that I was sick often, every month for weeks at a time due to my period, and that caused infertility, and family planning was something that was very important to him. And I don't knock him for that. I think that that's a completely reasonable thing. If you want to have a family, you should be able to partner with someone who also wants to have a family. But in my realization that I wasn't going to be able to have kids, I found myself with a strange amount of joy about that. Joy that I did not ever talk to him about which is a problem, right? So we have to sit and we have to think about why that was. Ooh, this concealer might be too light for brow stuff. This is a She Glam concealer in the shade Coconut Flakes. Might be too bright for under eyebrow stuff, but we'll keep going. I never really talked to him about the fact that I kind of felt relieved about the fact that I could not have kids medically before having the hysterectomy. What I did not like was that doctors made me continue to suffer, even knowing that I was biologically not able to have children because of my condition. I went through several miscarriages, and those miscarriages kind of, along with other issues that I was having in that long-term relationship, kind of spelled out the end of that long-term relationship, right? Being carted from doctor to doctor, always being sick, not having any type of recourse or relief from those symptoms and that pain, it made me not a good person, and not a fun person to be around. I was stressed all the time. I was sick all the time. I was unhealthy all the time. And on top of that, dealing with being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and all of that, our relationship took a turn for the worse. And I've mentioned this before. I still think he's a good person. I wish him all the best. I hope he is doing well, and I hope that he is able to find a fulfilling relationship that will give him the family that he wants. But unfortunately, that won't be found here, especially now that I've actually had the parts removed. I literally don't have the facilities, big man. Like... But that brings me to an issue that I have been having now that I'm back out and attempting to date again, especially when it comes to cis men. And that is that I no longer have the ability to have kids, and I don't really want to be a parent via any route, whether that be adoption, natural birth, or coming into a relationship with someone who already has children that are young and like impressionable. You know, if we're talking somebody who has teenage kids, by the time things could get serious between me and a person, you know, hopefully by that time that kid will be old enough, you know, where I don't have to do any of the raising. Because I came to understand that I'm happy being a child-free person, which, with all the contention on the internet right now about people being okay with being child-free, I know that's a dangerous thing to say right now, but that's just the truth. I saw in the comments somewhere that someone was like, a child-free woman is dangerous because they're ungovernable, and that is so true. And in our current climate, it means more than anything. I feel dangerous in a good way, to be honest with you. I feel like my brows are not dark enough, so I'm just gonna take this Nika K lip pencil and just like kind of, my brows are on the thick side today, which is fine, I guess, but sorry. And that last gel product that I used on my face was the LA Girl Pro Prep High Definition Smoothing Face Primer. I'm wearing a light foundation today. It's actually a skin tint. Maya, don't kill me. I already had this before you made your video. I've had this for a little while. It's probably expired, to be honest with you. But it's the Maybelline Superstay Plus Vitamin C 24-hour skin tint, and this is in the shade 322, and it's actually way better than the foundation that I have. It matches more closely with my skin tone, so like once you see me put it on, you're gonna watch it disappear. But anyways, as I'm swiping on the apps, which we all know that online dating is like completely and totally trash right now, we know that, but like I don't really go out very much, and I haven't been out very much because of having surgery. And now that I am not performing burlesque, I'm not like out in bars as much as I used to be. So I'm not meeting people, and my workplace is mostly remote. And I also don't suggest trying to find partners at your place of employment. Although where I work, it's actually fairly common because I work for a really large employer. And I feel that, you know, online dating is kind of, you know, where I'm at right now. But as I'm swiping through and trying to avoid conservative or moderate men who are actually Trump supporters that want to date liberal women for whatever reason that is. There are a lot of think pieces on TikTok about why men do this, but I'm not going to talk about it. You can go watch those. But I'm aware and I'm watching. As a person who's trying to actively avoid that situation, I am on Bumble so that I can see a lot more, and I'm avoiding profiles that look kind of sketch to me. But the problem is that finding someone who is into what I'm into, I'm a nerd, I play video games, I watch anime, I go to conventions and do cosplay, who, you know, also doesn't want kids, is hard. And what makes that more difficult is that I'm at a point in my life right now where I am trying to figure out my faith and kind of dipping a very deconstructed toe back into Christianity and where I sit with that. I ask God a lot of questions every day. And see, did you see that? That foundation disappeared, okay? Like, this is my shade, you guys. I'm also finding that looking for other people who are Christian is really hard on the dating apps, because a lot of times with cis men, if they're Christian, I'm seeing that they're also conservative, and I'm also seeing that they want kids. So I'm kind of left in this space where I've been swiping probably through hundreds of profiles, right, in the last 3-4 weeks or so, and the pickings are slim, right? And that doesn't feel very encouraging for someone like me who does want a romantic connection, but realizes that my lifestyle and the fact that I don't want to deal with little babies goes against what a lot of people feel is one of the things that Christians are supposed to do. The whole, like, be fruitful and multiply, which I get it, but I'm not somebody, as I'm taking this walk back into a deconstructed version of my faith, I'm not somebody who takes every single word of the Bible literally. As a matter of fact, the only thing that I take literally in the Bible is to love one another. That is what I'm taking literally. So your walk with Jesus is your walk with Jesus, but mine says that there's a lot to discuss around other things, but the one thing I will not debate is love each other. So today I'm going on a date with a man who is liberal, which yay, but has a kid. A teenager, but has a kid. They are also not a person of any faith at all. And I'm taking a chance. There are already a bunch of other things that make me feel like this is kind of a risk to be taking. But like, that's definitely one of them. I'm taking the She Lamb Baked Glow Setting Powder. It's a loose powder. This is in the shade light brown. I'm just gonna like pop this underneath while I do my eyeshadow. I'm not doing anything crazy today because it's 12:07 and the place that I'm going is 15 minutes away and we're supposed to meet up at 1 o'clock. So I'm actually needing to hurry up at this point. I'm just doing this to catch some fallout just in case. But again, I'm not doing anything crazy with my eyeshadow. Today we're gonna attempt to be a one palette pony. I'm using the ColourPop Naruto palette because my favorite shade of eyeshadow ever is in here. It's called Ichiraku. I've been looking for a dupe of just a single of Ichiraku ramen, or ramen Ichiraku is what it's called. And that's this shade right here. I freaking love this shade so much. Please ignore the fact that my palette's got like colors all over it, but you know, because I've had it for a minute. So of course I'm going to be rocking Ramen Ichiraku today. So I feel like there's a lot of like compromise that I'm making in order to re-enter the dating scene, because I realize that I'm going to have to explain to men, if I'm dating men, I'm going to have to explain to them why I can't have kids, right? And the story of me coming to the place where I have to have a hysterectomy is a very traumatic one, because as a matter of fact, on about 2 months ago, I was this close to leaving the planet because my uterus was literally trying to take me out. Again, a story for a longer YouTube video, but having to explain that over and over and over again feels very exhausting, and I haven't even had to do that yet. So like, the color that I just placed is called Hidden Stone Village. I'm going to go on top of that. I'm actually going to bring that all the way up to the brow. This saves my life. It's just a little mesh thing that I wipe my brushes off in between colors, even if I'm not using it again. I'm gonna take Hidden Cloud Village and kind of like give myself some definition here. Never mind the fact that that surgery saved my life. A lot of people will still see me as selfish, as, you know, undesirable. And I was undesirable before, because I would tell men specifically, after having dates and conversations with them and family planning would come up, I would tell them that I was medically unable to have children. And I can't tell you how many times I was actually ghosted. Like, I wish I was lying to you, but I can't tell you how many times I was actually ghosted by men for the fact that I could not biologically have children. It means a lot to people, and I understand that, but like, it still hurt. I completely understand your reasoning, but it still hurt. Because I think outside of my ability to bear children, I'm a great partner, I think I bring a lot to the table, except being able to have kids. So I'm kind of wondering to myself, is my lot in life to date people who already have kids? Because I'm also 33, which means that I'm not getting any younger, and the dating pool is going to get shorter and shorter for me as I continue to age. Oh yeah, that's Ichiraku ramen, by the way. Look at that. Love it. It's got such a subtle sparkle to it that I love so much. Just looking at it in the pan makes me feel shimmery on the inside. It also makes a great highlight, to be honest. But I don't be using it as a highlight very often, because once this is gone, I'm not rebuying this palette just to get this color, which is why I'm still searching for a dupe if anybody can help me find one. Oh, look at that. Lovely. Magnificent. Give me 20 of them. I'm gonna go back in with Hidden Cloud Village and define this lower lash line real fast. I like that a lot. It's time for the part that I don't like so much, which is liner. I'm not great at liner, but we're gonna try. I don't want to do anything too bold. I'm taking the Beauty Creations in Outer Space to do my lower lash line, which I also suck at. For some reason, I always end up making it too thick. Oh, that's good. That's actually pretty good. My other issue is that sometimes it's patchy and the line doesn't seem like consistently thick all the way across. Or I bring it too far down, which is another problem. See what I mean? Like, I have to correct my thickness. Oh, that's not so bad. That's not so bad. Good enough. For liner, I'm using Wet n Wild Breakup Proof Liner. It's the same liner I always use. Mine is separating at the wrong point. That's how much I use this liner. And so I feel quite nervous about doing this. I don't know why I'm trying to talk and do eyeliner at the same time. Like, who am I? Not an expert, I can tell you that much. See, and that's why we don't talk while we do eyeliner. It looks okay, but that's not what I was going for. I actually didn't do too bad today, because joining that inner corner is usually where I mess up my eyeliner. Maybe I should consider getting one of those eyeliner stamps, because of course my liner never matches. That's as close as it's gonna get. For blush, I'm actually going into the Juvia's Place Zulu palette, and I'm gonna use this highlighted blush tone here on the outside towards the outer of my cheeks, and then come in with this brighter color, like kind of underneath. That's a technique that I learned from Maya Michelle, by the way, which I know you guys hear me whenever I'm doing my makeup. I know you guys hear me mention Maya Michelle a lot. This is completely and totally off subject. But the reason why I mention Maya Michelle a lot is because when I see her do her makeup, I see the potential in what my face can look like. And that's the first time that I've seen a beauty influencer so close to what I actually look like. And I love her demeanor and her tips. So if it sounds like I'm a Maya Michelle fangirl, it's because I am. Unabashedly. Oh, I love how that highlight is sitting. I'm also gonna brush that on my nose. So I'm nervous today, and I understand that, you know, the likelihood that this date will go well, I don't really know. There are also, of course, other things to consider. But having to think about this entire debate about being child-free on top of it makes dating just seem like a really big hassle for someone like me right now. There's also the intersection at which I am Black, I am fat, I am into weird things. You know, all of those things intersect in ways that are making dating difficult for me. So I don't want to say it's not worth it, because it is, especially because I do want the companionship. I do, but my God, like, I will admit that it would have been a lot easier to have already been in a relationship that was stable and had a good foundation before I had this hysterectomy. Because now I feel like I'm constantly having to prove my worth outside of child-rearing duties in order to be someone who is desirable in dating. Never mind the fact that I have really cool hobbies and that I have great skills and that I like to travel and that, you know, I'm a responsible person, you know, never mind all that. I can't have kids, so what's the point, right? Maybelline Snap Scara, because I'm not putting on lashes today. Cute. I'm not even going to attempt lower lashes today. And because we're going to go eat, I am not going to put on a ton of lip product. I do have the NYX matte lip liner in Tea and Cookies, and I'm gonna top it with the lifter gloss from Maybelline in 005 Petal. Word, hold on. Where's my sharpener? How did that break like that? How did that even get like that? Sometimes I feel a little coquette and I block out my Cupid's bow because I want that like duck lip effect, I guess. This might be the wrong liner to do that with though. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use a different liner. Let's do the NYX Line Loud in Trophy Life. Once again, like what the? There we go. And it's such a creamy formula. And I do find that the Line Louds last. Once they dry down, they last pretty good. Ooh, I like it. I'm gonna go put my hair on and I'll be back and I'll show you the final look after that. Oh, wait, hold on. What am I doing? Kato Kato Hazy Project Makeup Setting Spray. I am looking very fresh today. Anyways, I'm gonna go put my hair on and I'll be back. All right, and this is the final look. Methinks the accessories might be a little too on the nose, but I like it, so I'm gonna wear it. Let's do a final fit check. So this is what I am wearing. You're gonna see this dress in this particular print a lot because I love this dress. I actually have this dress in 3 different colors and 2 different styles. So just your basic purse, some cute knee-high boots. You can't really see them, I'm so sorry. And I'm gonna take my current read with me just in case. If you know, you know. But yeah, thanks for taking the time to get ready with me for this date. I'm gonna head out before I'm late and they have even more reason to judge me. Let's hope it goes well. Yeah, let's hope it goes well. All right, bye.